So in this section, we will configure this member server. We will make this member server as additional domain controller. Okay, so let us verify the IP configuration of this server. We'll type ncpa.cpl. Ethernet 0, then properties. Then if you see here, the IP address of this member server is 10.0.0.2. Subnet mask is 255.0.0.0 and preferred DNS is 10.0.0.1. This is the IP address of our domain controller. Now we want to make this server to as additional domain controller, which means we need to install the Active Directory and we need to install the DNS as well. So now the preferred DNS will be 10.0.0.2 because we are making this server as DNS server as well. So the IP address and preferred DNS will be same here. So let us change it to 2 and alternate DNS will be 10.0.0.1. And 0.0.0.1. Then we'll click OK. Okay, then close, and we'll do some verifications like we'll go to the server manager. We'll go to tools, and we don't have any Active Directory services here because we have not installed any. We have not installed the Active Directory. So there is no Active Directory service here, and we'll go to command prompt. If we type this net accounts, so it is a server. Okay, so let us make this server ADC. So we'll go to add roles and features. Then we'll click next, and the server name and IP address is correct. Then we'll click next, and we want to install the ADDS here, Active Directory, domain services. Then we'll add features. This option is checked. Then we'll click next. Then we'll click install. So it will install the Active Directory. After installing this Active Directory, we need to promote this server as domain controller. So we will make this server as additional domain controller. We'll see how to make it additional domain controller. So it is installed. We'll close this window and we'll promote this server to a domain controller. So here we have three options. So we'll select the first option to make the server as domain controller. If you see here, add a domain controller to existing domain. So we already have an existing domain and we will add the server to this domain here. Okay. So we'll select the first option, then we'll click next, and the domain name is ms.com here, and it is having DNS checked and global catalog is also checked here. So you can uncheck. We'll see what is this global catalog, and we have one more option which is called as read-only domain controller. So if you want to make this ADC as read-only domain controller, you will select this option. So if you uncheck this option, it will get the read-write permission. So we need to provide the DSRM password here. Let us provide NOA123 hash dollar, NOA123 hash dollar. Then we'll click next, next, then we'll click next, next, next. It is verifying the prerequisites for domain controller operation. So all prerequisite checks passed successfully. So which means we can make this server as additional domain controller. Then we'll click install. It will restart the server now. So let us log on to this server. So we'll change the name to ADC before login. Let us verify the things. We'll go to tools and you can see it is having the Active Directory services, Active Directory Administrative Center, Active Directory Domains and Trust, etc. Then we'll go to the command prompt. Then we'll type this command, net accounts. And if you see for ADC, you will get backup here. Previously it was showing server, which means it was a member server. Now it is a backup server. Backup means additional domain controller. For domain controller, you will get primary. Net accounts, and if you see the domain controller, how will you identify whether the device is a domain controller or additional domain controller? If it is a domain controller, you will get primary here. If it is an additional domain controller, you will get backup, and if it is a member server, you will get server. So this is the backup server, and what we will do, we'll access the Active Directory users and computers. In ADC, we'll go to tools, then Active Directory users and computers, and we'll verify whether it is updated or not. So if you see here, we are at ADC and it is having finance OU, which are created on domain controller, sales OU, then user. So what we will do now, we'll create one OU here. And we'll provide any meaningful name according to our lab. So OU created on ADC. Then we'll click OK and we'll create two users like ADC user 1, ADC user 1. Then we'll click next and we'll provide the password 123 123. Then we'll click next, finish. Okay, so we have created OU and we have created one user. Now we'll go to server 1 and we'll see whether it is updated or not. Oh, let us search for that OU. It is domain controller, finance OU, sales OU. So OU is not updated yet. We'll wait for a few seconds. We'll open the server manager. Then we'll go to tools and Active Directory users and computers. And it is not updated. If it is not updated, we need to wait for maximum 180 seconds. Okay. And after 180 seconds, we can restart. We can restart now itself, but we'll wait for the update to be done. Create it. So let us restart. So they will get synchronized. Before restarting, we'll see the IP address. So if you see the IP address here, 10.0.0.1, and alternate DNS is, sorry, it should be, where are we? Where we are at what? Okay, we'll go to this server, ncpa.cpl, properties, 10.0.0.2, preferred DNS is 10.0.0.2. We'll go to the server, we'll go to DC, and we'll configure DNS as 10.0.0.1. Then we'll click OK. And we'll go to server manager. Then we'll go to Active Directory and users, Active Directory users and computers. Now you can see we are getting the OU created on ADC with ADC user. So let us create one more OU here. OU created on DC. Okay, we'll go to ADC. Then under this OU created on ADC, we should have sub OU here.